Hello everyone, it's Beyond here. It's 4:53 a.m. in the morning. So yeah, a.m. means in the morning. So tired, but it's okay. Uh, I have my medicine, which I've spoken about, which I take every day, and it knocks me out for about 8 hours. And if I don't take my medicine, I usually wake up in the middle of the night, and so because I just crash, fall asleep. And then I have to take my medicine and sleep for another 8 hours, and this is quite problematic a lot of the time. I mean, it's nice to have the ability to be like, okay, I need to go to sleep at 10. I'm taking my medicine at 9, and then I fall asleep. So yeah, a friend of mine once thought that he wanted a painkiller, and he managed to take one of my these pills. Into one. I have four and a half, 450 milligrams, something like that. And he was gonna go swimming with a friend, and I think he fell asleep, on the cliffside next to the bathing place, and he was like totally knocked out. So it's a very strong medicine. Yeah, that's what's going on right now. I feel quite good actually. Um, I had quite a big panic attack though. Um, I was standing in the shower and got some song in my head. My thinking, in the three principles to talk about how you experience your thinking, and that it's inside out or outside in, and this can be quite complex to go over. But uh, inside out is how we function, that we experience our own reality, we experience our own thinking. Then outside in is the idea that what others say affects me. And let's see where to go with this. But um, I experience my thinking, and my thinking can really, really scare me and rev me up, and that can be really difficult. But it's good to know that it's my own thinking. And I've been a bit at war with this because I think that sometimes I felt like I'm actually being attacked when I've heard voices and stuff. But recently, I've realized more and more that if I have voices, it's usually something that I'm anticipating that's going to be said. So it's quite interesting, but I don't really know how it functions. But an example of the um, outside in idea is that me and a friend went to Denmark, and there was this guy we were talking to, and we were starting to talk about the three principles because we both like that. And in the three principles, there's an analogy regarding the snow globe. You have a snow globe, and when we think a lot, it gets very like you can't see very well. So it's like you shake the snow globe, and that snow globe. I don't have a snow globe here, sadly. You have a very hard time seeing through the snow globe because it's full of snow. And what we usually do is like, oh God, I have to fix this. I have to fix this, and we shake it more and more. It's like, oh, I'm broken. Something is wrong. How can I feel better? So you put the snow globe down. What happens? The snow settles, just like the thoughts settle, and you have clarity. You can see through the snow globe again. So we explained this to a guy with PTSD, post-traumatic stress syndrome. There was a helicopter flying over our head, and he said, "Those fuckers are shaking my snow globe." Excuse my French. You can censor that if you want yourself. So he thought that was the outside-in idea, that they have power over his state of mind, or like, and someone else said something rude to me, and that makes me angry. When it's my thinking of someone saying something rude to me and me partially believing in it. And I think often it's like if someone says something rude to you, if you respect that person, you take it personally. Because you think that if they said it, it must mean something about me. and you get insecure, and you're starting to doubt yourself, and you're like, am I really a bad person? Something like that, you know. So he thought that the helicopters had the power to make him feel bad, when it's actually his thinking about the helicopter making him feel bad. It makes him feel bad. So it's his belief. But of course, some things like you react. I mean, he was in the army, so that was where he got the PTSD. You know, I don't know his name, and you know, it's just a story. So, yeah. But it's weird how, I mean, I've had schizoaffective disorder for 11 years, and I still get really scared sometimes, like really freaked out, and you know, it's the fear is very creative. You know, it's like, I mean, it's like we have this reptile brain, what do you call it? You know, like survival, and it's always looking to save us, to help us, and to make sure that we stay alive. And Homo sapiens we're called. So it's the man that knows, and he knows that he knows. You know. And I think, you know, like with animals, for example, there's this book which is, I think it's called Why Zebras Don't Have Ulcers, which is about, you know, you like if you ever watched a nature documentary, you see these, you know, zebras grazing, and then a lion comes, and the zebra just runs like crazy, you know, and then it gets away from the lion, hopefully, yeah. And so what it does, it just, you know, does the shrugs a bit, like, you know, with its whole body, and goes back to grazing. So it's like, okay, that was scary. Let's shake it off and then go back to eating, because that's what I like to do. Whereas humans are like, oh God, I was just attacked by a lion. This must not happen again. How do I make sure that I'm not attacked by a lion? That was scary. I remember it now. Oh God, how do I avoid them? You know, something like that. And we need to make a strategy, and you play it over and over and over again, trying to fix something. You know, and so humans have a very special condition. And I mean, animals can get traumatized, like cats and dogs, horses, and other animals can get traumatized because, you know, they are, what would you call that now? No, they are, you know, around humans, so domesticated. Yes, that's the word. And you know, if you scare a cat very early, for example, I'm a cat person, nothing against dog persons, but I had a lot of cats, and if they get scared very early about something, they will be a bit neurotic, and it's the same with dogs and horses, and you know, probably pigs, you know, all kinds of animals that are quite aware. So that's, we all have that possibility to get really scared, you know, and that it affects us. It leaves a mark somewhere. And like I think I said about Gabor Mate, when it comes to trauma, you can have trauma which begins that early on, that you don't even remember what made you scared. And I think what is interesting is about, you know, ADHD, for example. Everyone has ADHD now. It's crazy. I got it when it was still kind of cool. No, not cool, but you know, it wasn't very ordinary, you know. And then it's become like a superpower. Like, you know, I have ADHD, or that, you know, it explains everything why I, you know, the whole story about, oh, I messed up my whole life, but it's because I have ADHD, so I can explain it. But Gabor Mate said that, spoke about ADHD, and he spoke about trauma, and saying that, you know, if you get scared about something when you're very small, you're quite, I'm just paraphrasing, and I'm just saying what I got from it. You're gonna distract yourself, because it's scary to just sit around and be with your feelings, because that's, you know, it scared you, and things come up to the surface. And so you're always going to take in, oh, a bird, oh, a plane, you know, whatever, you know. There was this saying, which was it was this T-shirt that said like, "No one really understands me when I tell them I have ADHD." Oh, look, a butterfly. You know, that's kind of how it functions. And so I believe that you always have hardware and software. Like hardware is the genes we're born with, and the software is the conditioning. And I believe to a big degree that ADHD comes from conditioning, stress, and I mean societal stress, family stress, or stressful events that happen very early, or very sensitive people. Maybe these star seeds, like we spoke about. People come to Earth to change the frequency. There's so many different ideas about that. So, but I probably got freaked out when I was a kid. And like I said, this thing when I was 4, I couldn't speak for a week. I was my speech center just didn't function, and I mean that probably made me feel very very lonely. I have a few memories from there, like I probably said too, but like it made me feel lonely because no one understood what I was saying, and then of course you're gonna try to communicate, and so for me my whole life I've been trying to put words on emotions and how I feel and explain myself, and also trying to solve conflicts and like trying to make sure that everyone understands one another. So I'm like kind of a moderator, and so I mean in a way you can see that okay, that was something bad that happened, but it brought good things with it. It brought my ability to put words on things is quite all right, and maybe that's because I had this, fear, and then so you're gonna overcompensate for it, Something, made you sad and made you depressed, and then that makes you think around why you're depressed and why you're thinking the way you're thinking and stuff. As a way of defending yourself or of dealing with stuff, So yeah. But this movie which we watched the other day was called The Wisdom of Trauma. It was actually really really good. But I mean, I would recommend that you would see it on your own, or I mean, it depends on the type of person you are. If you're very extrovert, want to be around people. But for me, it was like, yeah, I would have loved to just watch it and then pause for a bit and then think and then pause and then play it again and pause again. Because sometimes you need contemplation, and I think with spiritual books that I've read, especially early on, I needed a lot of contemplation. So yeah, that's one thing there. I was thinking about if I would go into existential things, more like how I mean these books about spirituality really made me change the way I see the world. And I mean, I saw this show yesterday. I was at a friend of mine's place, and it was about the Big Bang, and I was like, it's based on an idea, the Big Bang, and there's heaps of science, and you can accept that. But I think the Hindus think that the world is circular. I mean, I don't know. We see things in different ways, and I remember I must have been 27 or 26 something, maybe earlier on, that I had this idea that, which probably came from reading a lot of spiritual books, but also my own creativity, was that what if the whole universe, this is quite deep, what if we're living in God's heartbeat? Because, you have the universe expanding. This is me maybe going off topic, but you have the universe expanding. And if it is expanding, by the laws of nature, it probably needs to contract somewhere else. So it's like if the universe is expanding here, who's this dude? Blowing up the universe. Or not blowing up, but, like a balloon. And I was thinking, like, what if... And this came from a documentary called... Actually, called... what is it? It's Nassim Haramein, Black Hole. Not black hole with an H, it's a black hole with WHOLE. So it's the hole, yeah, which is very interesting. Black hole. This documentary, a lot about geometry, a lot about um, how like how dimensions function and all kinds of things. But it made me think that maybe we live in the heartbeat of God. Oh no, and then we can. It's easy that we believe that we're very very small, you know. But like I said another time as well, it's like you're not a drop in the ocean. You're the ocean in a drop, and everything is connected. And I think I said also that the whole world can be found in the leaf of the tree. And I think the world is different from saying that the whole universe can be found in the leaf of the tree. And this is, it's like, how can it be in the whole universe be in the leaf of the tree? But like I said, like we live in a seamless experience where every single thing is connected. And with the chaos, the idea of chaos, it's like that the fluttering of a butterfly's wings can cause a hurricane on the other side of the planet or in another galaxy. Who knows? Like, but it's made of divine mind, consciousness, and thought. And thought makes everything. It's a creative thing, but it can be difficult. It can be easy. It can be all kinds of things. But think about all beings that think, make up the reality. This is probably going to be quite a long podcast, but like there's this saying about if a tree falls in the middle of the forest and no one sees it, then has it really fallen, or did it happen? Then I was like, you have insects, you have birds, you have animals, you have people, and then you probably have some bigger being seeing it, some divine God, and you can say God as everything, but you could also see God as this kind of separate being. I think there's God and then there's gods like that you pray to. Who knows? I mean, there could even be aliens coming from another planet who are giants or who are very very smart, and to us they are gods because they're really really awesome. And so and then you have beings on the astral plane. There's so many possibilities, but like it's like we think, and we think it's our I think it's very complex. Maybe another being can think 100 times more complicated thoughts, and like more thoughts in one word, and like have words for everything. So there's so much potential. And I mean, potential is great, but I also believe sometimes that, I mean, this is going to be a really long podcast, but I'm on the flow. I might cut it in the middle and make two. We'll see. This is my concern. But like, the potential for so many, 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 many things is probably what could have created my psychosis, because I see that, there might be a planet where there's just dancing, like everyone dances, there's music everywhere. That there might be a planet for making love. There might be a planet for, defense of the, that part of the universe. There might be a planet of art, like where everyone is drawing. Who knows? Like, maybe not the whole planet, because there's different beings there. But there's so much possibility, And like, if we say that there are no, I'm just on the flow here, but if we say that there are no aliens, it's like, have you thought about how big the universe is? How many zeros there are when you start talking about light years? How many planets? How many suns? And then I'm like, yeah. But who knows, right? I spoke about Pleiadians before, about aliens, and that probably made me a bit psychotic, because I believe that was one of them, and I needed to go back home and something like that. But anyways, I'm quite happy to be on planet Earth, actually. And it was, I mean, I was really into these things with Pleiadians, and then there was a therapist or someone I knew who just, random. This was so weird, but she asked me, John, do you want to be on planet Earth? And I was like, yeah, I want to be on planet Earth. I was in a very tough state. I was like, I really want to be here. She's like, yeah, right, exactly. And I saw that, like, this is what I got, that was given to me. My ability to be, or my what do you call it? That I can be here, the gift of being on Earth. And I'm gonna do as much as I can with it. Yeah. I'm gonna stop here, and I'm gonna see if I make another video. Okay. Take care, everyone. I felt I kind of ended it way too fast there. I must say that I'm thankful for you watching my channel, and it was very nice to share with you when I had a flow of consciousness tonight. And please like and subscribe. Take care, everyone. Stay classy. Beyond out. There we go. That's good.